I recently had one of my best autumn photo trips ever. A full day exploring this stunning mountain lake in the Swiss Alps, the Obersee. Among all the lakes in Switzerland, this one still is a bit of a hidden gem, which meant I pretty much had it all to myself. My main goal for the day? Capture the autumn colors at their peak while I hike around the lake. Timing that perfectly can be a bit tricky, but one thing that really brings out those golden yellows and fiery orange tones is sunlight. And today the light was absolutely perfect. When those leaves get hit by the light, it makes them extra vibrant. I first visited this lake last year in August, and I instantly knew I had to come back in autumn. I'd already marked a spot for a great composition. The mountain framed nicely in the background, so that was the first place I checked. I started experimenting with a few different angles and test shots to prep for sunset. I did plan to record some proper behind-the-scenes footage, showing you the camera settings, the composition, the setup and so on. But of course I did forget my second tripod at home. So for this video you'll get some shaky low-quality smartphone footage. Apologies in advance. For this scene, a focal length between 16 and 24 mm works perfectly. At 24 mm I can fill the frame with the mountain and get a nice balance. But if I want to include foreground elements, such as rocks, I go wider. You'll see that later when we get to sunset. The test shots looked promising, and I was excited for golden hour, when the sun dips low, the haze fades, and the whole landscape comes alive. At that point I already thought I might have miscalculated the time I need to get around this lake. As I was standing there, a little further in the distance, I saw a beautiful tree with dark wood and bright yellow foliage. Perfect to get some autumn shots. So after scouting spot number 1, I immediately made my way to this tree. The thing is, if pro runners go 5 minutes per mile, landscape photographers do more like 2 hours per mile. We are really slow, especially when the light is perfect. There are so many possibilities for great compositions, and I was stopping every few meters to check out something else. One view in particular caught my attention. A mountain to the side of the lake, which was getting hit by all that golden light. In front, there was a bit of a woodland area with beautiful autumn foliage. The cherry on top was the scene reflecting in the water in the foreground. There was absolutely no wind, which creates this mirror-like water surface. At first I tried to shoot this with 24 mm to bring the mountain closer, but it kind of felt a bit cramped. So I switched to 14 mm, which opened everything up. The mountain was still big enough, but with way more room at the top and at the bottom. Plus, I can now include this dark forest in the front of the sunlight on the left side. And that creates a perfectly balanced composition with the forest on the right side. That shot alone made the whole trip worth it. And by the way, I've already uploaded the editing video for this image. I'll link it somewhere up here. So after spending way too much time, I finally reached the tree. I started shooting from a distance to show its scale. I zoomed in to fill the frame with just the glowing leaves and those dark twisting branches. It's just perfect contrast. Shooting this with a zoom lens makes things a lot easier, as you don't have to move around that much and you're just way more flexible. I simply zoomed in until the tree was filling the whole frame. In that case, I ended up using a focal length of 50 mm. By the way, if you're wondering why the camera settings are all weird with high ISO and so on, I was shooting a lot with this filter right here, which is a polarizer plus ND filter combo. This makes it great for video recording, but I should have used a plain polarizer for the photography part. That would have allowed me to use way lower ISO. I wasn't done with the tree yet though. Up close, those branches look wild and almost spooky. That's a perfect subject. But how can we shoot that? For the shot, I had to go ultra wide. 9mm on full frame, which is an insane field of view. I stood right under the tree, placed a branch close to the lens for depth, and shot straight into the sun at f16 to get that nice sunstar effect. That's another one of my favorite shots of the trip. By now, the sun was getting low and golden hour was starting. I should have headed straight back to my first spot, but instead I still decided to hike around the lake, hoping to find another great composition. Spoiler alert, all the best spots were near the start. Still, it was totally worth it, walking the full loop, taking in the silence and enjoying the beautiful nature up here. By the time I made it back to the first spot, the sun had already dipped and the light on the foreground was gone. So that was really not what I planned. Still, I grabbed one last shot at 16mm, including some rocks in the foreground, which in turn just gives the image some extra depth. The clouds were rolling in fast though, and soon the mountain disappeared completely. Sunset photography for that day was off the table. I was really happy with the shots I got, much more than I expected. I hope this video gives you a glimpse of how beautiful this place is and maybe inspires you to grab your camera, head outside and capture your own autumn colors. So I want to experiment a little bit more with videos and content like this, showing some more behind the scenes. I hope this was enjoyable and had some useful information for you. If you like to see more videos like that, please let me know in the comments and hopefully see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.